This was a crazy weekend for college football. The slate of games wasn't as great in previous weeks, but you can argue this was the most exciting weekend we've had yet. Trying to pick 10 winners was the hardest it's been so far this season, as there were so many teams that really had amazing wins. But for the sake of this video, we had to cut it down to 10. Before we get to today's video, make sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. If you're watching this video, odds are that you love college football. And odds are you are subscribed to my channel, so make sure to subscribe to one of the best college football communities here on YouTube. I'll be posting videos every day during the season, so make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. Also, make sure to drop a like on this video as well. It helps with that YouTube algorithm and helps share the video with more college football fans. Plus, it only takes a second to do. Also, drop a comment down below and let me know who you think the biggest winner is from the weekend. Like I mentioned, there were some teams that I had to leave off, so I'd love to hear which team impressed you guys the most. We'll kick off this video with the biggest winner of the weekend, the Kansas Jayhawks. They won their 4th game of the season and are still undefeated. This is an insane deal for Kansas, as this is the first time they've won 4 games in a season since 2009. The Jayhawks hadn't won 4 games in a season in 13 years. That's how down bad this program has been over the last decade. The turnaround they've had this season is nothing short of spectacular. They honestly could be a potential threat in the Big 12 if this keeps up. Their offense is the real deal, as they're led by quarterback Jalen Daniels. He's a legitimate Heisman contender, as he had yet another incredible performance this weekend. He threw for over 300 yards with 4 passing touchdowns, while leading the team in rushing yards with 80 yards on the ground and a score. I'm not exactly certain how much longer this is going to last or how many wins Kansas is going to rack up, but I hope they keep on winning because this is truly awesome. We'll keep up the Kansas trend, as Kansas State shocked Oklahoma with the upset. Well, it shouldn't be all that surprising, as the Wildcats have had the Sooners' number over the years, winning 3 of the last 4 matchups. They were in control for most of the game and actually never even trailed in this one. Adrian Martinez had arguably the best game of his collegiate career, which is really saying something considering he's been playing since 2010. He threw for 250 yards with a passing touchdown, but that wasn't where the damage came. Martinez rushed for 150 yards with 4 rushing touchdowns. His 2 biggest runs of the night came late in the 4th quarter that helped put the game out of reach for the Wildcats. This has been an impressive start to the season for Kansas State, who moves to 3-1 with a huge 1-0 start in Big 12 play. This was a very impressive showing from Kansas State, who might be a dark horse in the Big 12 this season. After their brutal loss at home to Appalachian State, Texas A&M has responded nicely, winning back-to-back games against top 15 opponents. This weekend, they took down number 10 Arkansas with a close 2-point victory. They were trailing 14-0 after 1 quarter, and it looked like this one was far out of reach. But a huge turnover late in the 2nd quarter completely flipped the script. They picked up a fumble on the 1-yard line thanks to an insane heads-up play that returned for a touchdown. That was a 14-point swing that honestly ended up winning the game for them. The momentum completely shifted, and Texas A&M dominated the rest of the way. Their offense could still use some work, as they still look pretty sloppy, but overall, this was their best offensive showing of the season. Just like that, A&M has climbed right back into the SEC hunt and may have a small chance of making a potential run at the college football playoff. I honestly thought Clemson was going to lose this game the way Wake Forest was looking in the 2nd half, but the Tigers managed to tie things up and send it to overtime. Even in overtime though, it looked like Wake Forest was going to pull off the victory, but the Tigers hung on and pulled it out. It was the most impressive win of the season for Clemson, though that's not saying much considering who they've played. Still, this was a huge win for them. DJ Uiagalelei had arguably the best game of his career, as he threw for 370 yards with 5 passing touchdowns while rushing for 50 yards as well. If Clemson can somehow get this DJ Uiagalelei on a more consistent basis, this is going to be a tough team to beat. I still don't know if this is a Clemson team that's going to be reaching the college football playoff, but this was a step in the right direction for them. There are only 2 Group of 5 teams left that are undefeated, and one of them is James Madison, who's playing their first season at the FBS level. As if that wasn't impressive enough, they overcame a 28-3 deficit to defeat Appalachian State by 4 points. With 6 minutes left in the 2nd quarter, the Mountaineers took a 25-point lead. The Dukes then scored 29 unanswered points to come from behind and secure the massive victory. James Madison has consistently been one of the best FCS programs over the years, but they haven't skipped a beat in the FBS. It sucks they can't win the Sun Belt or compete in a bowl game this season, as they're not allowed to in their first season at the FBS level. Oregon looked like they had their second loss of the season all wrapped up. With just under 4 minutes remaining in the game, the Ducks trailed Washington State by 12 points. Oregon then scored a touchdown, got a stop on defense, scored another touchdown, and then got a pick six to give them 22 points over a 2-minute span. Bo Nix played one of the best games of his career as he helped lead the Ducks' comeback. He threw for a career-high 430 yards with 3 passing touchdowns. Ever since Oregon's Week 1 loss, they've looked like an entirely new team. This offense has been electric, and they look like they're going to make a push to get back into the playoff hunt. The final score looks a lot closer than it was, as Tennessee nearly had the biggest collapse of the season, but they still won, and this offense looks nearly unstoppable. They finished the game with just under 600 yards of total offense, including 350 yards and 2 touchdowns from Hendon Hooker. The crazy part was, Hooker was missing his top wide receiver weapon in Cedric Tillman. He also added another 110 yards on the ground with a rushing score. Through the first 4 weeks of the season, the Vols are 4th nationally in scoring offense, averaging 52 points a game. Tennessee's 4-0 on the season and look like a legitimate threat in the SEC. With the offense they have, it's not crazy to say that they can hang with the other top teams in that conference. Middle Tennessee went into Miami as a 26-point underdog. They left with a 14-point victory, good for a 40-point swing. They dominated the Hurricanes from start to finish and looked like the ranked team out there. They led by as many as 21 numerous times. The crazy thing is, when looking at the box score, you wouldn't think that they dominated in the way they did. For the game, the Blue Raiders had only 14 first downs and went 3 for 12 on third down attempts, but they had over 500 yards of total offense, with over 400 of those coming in the passing game. Quarterback Chase Cunningham needed only 16 completions to throw for over 400 yards with 3 passing touchdowns. He also added 30 yards on the ground with a rushing score as well. The defense held the Hurricanes to only 60 rushing yards on 38 carries while also forcing 3 turnovers. Considering they were a 26-point underdog that won by 2 scores, this likely is going to go down as the biggest upset of the entire college football season. After trailing by 10 entering the half, Texas Tech rallied from behind to take down Texas in overtime. It was only the second time the Red Raiders have overcome a 10-point halftime deficit in Big 12 play. The other? Yep, it came against Texas. Oh, and this is their first win over a ranked opponent since 2008, when they beat Texas. Donovan Smith had an incredible game as he completed 38 passes for 330 yards with 2 passing touchdowns. He also added 40 yards on the ground with a rushing score. The difference maker in this game was what Texas Tech did on 4th down. They went 6 of 8, which is something you just never see. I don't know when the last time I saw a team convert 6 4th downs in one game. It was huge for them as it extended a number of scoring drives. We'll wrap up this video with Notre Dame. After an ugly start to their season, they had by far their best showing of the year against a 3-0 North Carolina team. After going down 7-0 at the end of the first quarter, the Irish outscored North Carolina 45-25 the rest of the way, including outscoring them by 17 points in the second quarter to take the lead. Entering the game, Notre Dame had scored only 55 points through their first 3 games. Well, they nearly reached that mark in this game. Drew Pine was excellent as he threw for 300 yards with 3 passing touchdowns. As a team, the Irish rushed for just under 300 yards with 3 rushing touchdowns. Entering the game, this was a Tar Heel team that was scoring at will, but Notre Dame really held them in check to pick up the impressive win. Maybe this is the game that gets the Irish going that'll help turn their season around. Well, those are my 10 biggest winners from this weekend. Which team do you think was the biggest winner from week 4? Was there a team that really surprised you that you think should have been on this list? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comment section down below. Before you leave, make sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. If you love college football, this is definitely the place for you. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'll be posting videos every day during the college football season, so make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. Also, make sure to drop a like on this video as well. It helps out with that YouTube algorithm and helps share the video with more college football fans. Plus, it only takes a second to do. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.